So here are 5 theme park rides that actually killed people, and one of them you can still ride today. Now, we've all probably ridden similar rides to this. This is the Thunder River Rapids in Dreamworld, Australia. You know, you sit on the inner tube with your buddies, you're going up the little conveyor system here, you float out in the rapids, you do a few little drops, get a little wet, and you know, you have a good time. Well, in 2016 at the Dreamworld, they did not have a good time. While riding up the conveyor system, a raft became stuck, causing the raft behind it to ram into it, but the conveyor belt was still moving. This caused that raft to flip and get jammed, and while the passengers were still inside, they got caught inside the conveyor belt underneath water. Sadly, all 4 riders were killed and the ride was permanently shut down. It was later discovered that a water pump had failed, and within 15 seconds of the pump's failure, the water level dropped just enough to cause that first raft to get stuck on that piece of equipment. Next up is Verrückt in Schlitterbahn, Kansas, opening in 2014 and closing quickly in 2016. Now, it opened as the tallest water slide in the world at the time at 168 feet, about the average height of a water tower, and reaching speeds of 70 miles per hour. Tragically, 2 years after opening, a 10-year-old boy was catapulted from the ride and decapitated when he hit the overhanging net above the ride. As he went down, they launched off the second piece right here. This is where he ended up getting killed, and his body was found in the pool way at the end over there. The next ride is the Mine Scrambler in Playland, New York. This one actually caused the death of 2 people within the span of 3 years, and you've likely ridden the ride, similar rides at your local fair. This is pretty much what the ride looks like. The middle spins around, and then the actual pieces, the arms that hang off, also spin around, giving you a lot of G-forces. Unfortunately, in 2004, a 7-year-old girl fell out of the ride after opening her restraining bar while it was moving, and another death occurred in 2007 when a 21-year-old park worker was still assisting guests with their restraints when another park employee started the ride, killing her and closing the ride for good. This next ride had bad news written all over it from the get-go. It's a human trebuchet, and it's from Middlemore Water Park in England. Basically, they put you in that, they launch you into another net about 180 feet away, and you reach speeds up to 40 miles an hour. Interestingly, this was a medieval weapon typically used by the Romans to launch plague-ridden corpses over the castle walls of their enemies. But unfortunately, in 2002, a 19-year-old Oxford student was killed when he didn't make it to the net and landed on the ground. And finally, the Mindbender in Galaxyland, Canada. Opening in December of 1985, it opened as the tallest indoor roller coaster at 150 feet. But just 6 months later, disaster struck. Midway through the ride, coming up to its 3rd loop, the wheel assembly became detached from both the track and the car, causing it to sway back and forth across the track. Then lap bars unlocked and released, throwing 4 passengers out of their seats and onto the concrete floor below, killing 3 of them and critically injuring 1. Then the car flew backwards into a concrete pillar and injuring people below. Despite all that, it still rides today and has won several safety awards over the years.